Let's have a look at Damage Uncharted 88, a piano all about tension and distortion. And this is how it can sound in action. So as you heard, it has a lot of that metallic tension twang and strikes. That's not really a standard piano, but something completely else. Let me quickly show you what I did here. So first, I'm using Damage 2 as the main percussion. Just something simple here from the big screen ensembles, leaving a lot of room in between in each measure. Then, let's see, I have also Mosaic Bass, also from Heaviosity, with some punish and filtered, and a bit of a delay. Let's just add those up. Pretty simple, right? Because I wanted that space to be filled with the tension and destruction of Uncharted 88. First thing I did was load up the ensemble patch here. So if you are familiar with the Damage line of products, especially the new one here, Damage 2, it comes with an ensemble designer, kit designer, and loop designer. And that's a great thing about Uncharted 88. Even though it's not a normal piano library, it uses the Damage engine. So you should see this as a destructive percussion library using the piano with lots of round robins and dynamics, velocity layers inside. Okay, as you heard there, low, high, mid, everything. So what I did was load up this one, Hybrid Piano Hits, and augmented basically the same beat as the Damage 2, but as you can see here, I added a lot of faster rhythm here to build the energy. Starting simple still. So it's just this. Let's just solo. That almost bass drum sounding. It's a piano. Still, all are recordings of a piano. Then, okay. Then I added because I wanted to use each of these presets or the contact presets here. Kit designer, which is basically where you can do like a drum kit, but from these distorted piano sounds. And I loaded up the Iron piano. Let's see how that sounds. And I used some higher, almost brush type sounds. Here the stereo feel, and that's a great thing about this library, the Damage engine, because you get a lot of sound design options here with the sources, the sounds, master effects, punish, and so on. So if you are used to the Damage engine, which I love, then you will enjoy that aspect. And then for the final part here, I love those tick tick tick. I call them tic tac sounds basically, or TikTok. Then I also use the loops. I rarely use loops in any library, but for percussion, especially some kind of background rhythmic stuff like this, it can work great. So I use the same for the first two sections here, and then a faster one for the final section. So something. So this is pre-recorded but tempo synced, and then for the final part, really hitting hard. Still with a lot of space because you want to hear those tick 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 tacks, brush strikes. I don't even know how they recorded. They did some stuff on the strings inside and the hammers and everything. Finally, I have what I call that extra piano. I think I used the ensemble designer here. Low string thump, small hammer, muted hit. I like that they have this here in the Damage engine, so you can see what you are actually hitting for each sample. Here, low hybrid hit. And here you can really hear that twang, that metallic tension and dissonance. Oh yeah, I suppose all of these could work as layers for epic and trailer music and hybrid electronic cinematic music as well. So all in action, it really adds up, especially when you build the energy here for the final part, those ticky-tacky sounds and the brush. Listen here for the energy build-up. And with the hard hitting here. I even finish with a long bass and another beat here, which is this kind of really metallic, resonant, long, almost like a crash, but with a distorted piano hit. Okay, so that's how I used it here. Let's just check out the interface. You can see, let's see, this one is the ensemble designer. I most often use the ensemble designer. Why? Let me show you. Because here you get the stage. So this is something I really love. This sound, you want it further back or in front, in your face, to the left, to the right. This stage thing here, I wish it was included in like every sample library and plugin. I simply love this. You can even push everything forward or back. Go into the individual microphone positions here and so on, and basically you get all the same options as Damage too. You get the performance engine, so you can do stuff like, let's activate that, do roll, repeat, swell, set the length and so on. I will not go into, this is not a walkthrough, it's just showing you what I enjoy about this library, how I want to use it. Let's see, I had some notes here. So why Uncharted 88? In my opinion, this twisted strikes and percussion, because you don't get a normal like piano sound in this library. You should not see it as that. See it as an extension for Damage 2, which is this. Okay, which has all this epic cinematic percussion, but you can add this twisted strikes and percussion. You know, it has this metallic sound. And if I go into here, you can see they have wood strikes, iron strikes, and string strikes. Let's just do this one. So this is you get all of these presets. Where were I? Let's start with the wood menu. I assume they hit the wood, like the body of the piano. I mean, it sounds still like percussion, but you hear that ringing sound. It's like the internal resonance of the piano. And you feel that organic thing, but it's so distorted, so much tension. Like the strings are almost on the edge of breaking inside. So it is a percussion engine. That is how I will use it. Let's go to the next one. I find that it can also work for chaotic tension. So you have these glisses and transitions. And I assume you can go in here and set the rate and timing and stuff. I haven't checked it out, but you get a lot of these reverses. I rarely use these kinds of sounds for reverses, but as you can hear, you get that really organic tension reverse sound. So I think for me, more than transitions, I would use it for adding tension with the actual percussion. You know, let's see, let's go to iron strikes, close. Okay, so here we have it. You get that, you get it's distorted, but you still hear it's kind of something else than ordinary percussion and drums. I think you hear some sympathetic resonance in the strings and the body of the piano they used to record all of this. And I like that it's in the traditional Damage engine. As I said, the stage thing is so good to have. And also, if you want to, you can create your own kits in the kit designer. So let's just load that up as well, so you can see it. Here we have the kit designer, okay. And now you get like your drum pad. And you can go into the sources and exchange this one. I would suggest that you use some kind of, you know, system for this, like the bass drummy kind of hits on the C1, and then the snare kinds of hits, because that way it will be easy to play on pads or your keyboard. And here I like that you can just change things out on the pads themselves, because with the ensemble designer, it's I mean, you can, but I find it's much easy to drag and drop here than completely changing the sources in the ensemble engine. But otherwise, it's pretty much set up the same as Damage 2. So if you have Damage 2, I would really recommend you get that. It's probably my favorite percussion library of all time. And use this as more of an extension. And then if you have the loop engine, you can go in here, do straights and triplets. For triplets, I find it can work really great for trailerish kind of sounds, on top of an ordinary percussion library, like Damage 2 or any orchestral cinematic drums. You know, and so on. Here we can change the speed, the tuning. Almost create glitch effects. As I said, I rarely use loop engines in any library, but I'm not sure if I will use this as much. But you can do a lot. I don't know if this is new. You can create stutter effects and transitions. As I said, this is not really my forte, the loop stuff, but it's there for you if you prefer to add it just as an extra thing. I mean, if you just want to add some kind of filler hybrid loops, just load it up and try some stuff out. Why don't you work? I did something strange, I think. Is it because of this? Let's load it up again. I'm not sure why. There. So you have something just in the background. It could be for inspiration and so on. However, as I said, the ensemble designer is my favorite. It is in Damage 2 as well. So the way I will use it mainly is for adding organic tension to percussive rhythms. So an ordinary drum kit, cinematic epic drum kits, and then add this on top, because it has this kind of tension, resonance, ringing sound that you get from the piano strings and body. As well as I like it for accents too, as I did here in the end for that hit. It's like, it's not a cymbal, it works as in a similar way as a cymbal crash. And some of the transitions, which can be accented transitions, like this little boom there, which I didn't have in the ordinary percussion. And maybe some of the transition, you know, rising reverse kind of sounds. So it's a very unique kind of percussive engine and library. But if you want that piano resonance, metallic, you know, washy kind of sound with the metallic and distorted texture, you could check this out. I will leave a link in the description. It is by Heaviosity and it's called Damage Uncharted 88. I hope you enjoyed my little playthrough here of what I have done so far with this library, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.